Hi everyone, and thanks for joining me for the full moon lunar eclipse reading, which is occurring on July 16th. It's going to be at 5:38 p.m. Eastern Time, but times are going to vary. This is Vickie, I'm the Rock and Roll Prophetess, and I do psychic tarot and psychic astrology readings. I use these tools as a jumping off point. So if you're really not that into astrology, you're going, oh, this is plain, I'm not going to watch it. Give it time, because as I loosen up, it gets more and more psychic. If you don't like that part of it, if you want it to be strictly astrology, then maybe this isn't the forecast for you. No need to leave nasty comments, okay? Yeah, so this is the second half of the summer of 2019 eclipses. I hope everybody's doing okay out in California and the West Coast from all those earthquakes. I mean, I think that definitely had something to do with the last eclipse. You know, there could be more coming. I don't want to be, a naysayer or anything, but there could be more coming. Because the first eclipse, the solar eclipse, the new moon eclipse, happened over here in the sign of Cancer. Now we're going on the opposite side of that, into the Capricorn side of it. The full moon lunar eclipse is going to be at 24 degrees and 4 minutes of Capricorn. And Capricorn is the earth. This is the water and this is the earth. I heard something about another earthquake happening in Polynesia. I don't know. I didn't go follow it through. It might have been, sometimes posts come up that are 2 or 3 years old. But if that's the case, that would be that Ring of Fire, the Ring of Fire, which is surrounding the Pacific Ocean, and all the, what you call those things? Volcanoes, those volcanoes, and possibly part of ancient Lemuria, many would believe. But, yeah, so that would be, it's kind of underwater or in the water. I mean, you could say, we had an earthquake here in Ohio not too long ago. It was a pretty big one. And, I've lived here most of my life, and I only remember one, and we don't get earthquakes here, And it was in the 80s, early 80s, there was an earthquake here in Ohio. And then there was one a couple months ago, maybe, and it was underwater here. It was in the lake, in the Lake Erie. But anyways, eclipses shake things up, is what I'm getting at. Eclipses definitely shake things up and shake things up in our lives. But it's usually, the shake up in our lives, it's usually something good, And another thing is, the eclipses last a good 6 months. So you're not always going to feel it. It'd be highly unlikely that you would feel it exactly on the day of the eclipse. Well, today's the eclipse and this is what's going to happen. It's not anal like that. It's fluid. It's energy. It's flowing. It lasts. It comes. It's kicking off. This chart is a snapshot of the energy at the time of the eclipse. It doesn't stop there. It goes on, especially for about 6 months or even longer sometimes. Sometimes you could look back to the eclipse seasons of before, and you definitely should with these nodal alignments, What was happening for all of us in 2000 and 2001? This is the last time that we had nodes in Capricorn and Cancer. What did we initiate? I tell this in my private readings all the time. What did we initiate? How has it come full circle? In the private readings, of course, you can get into a little bit more detail, but that's something just in general we could all be looking at in these times. It's all a circle. It's a circle of life. It's the wheel of fortune. It's the spiral of life. It goes round and round and round and round. Where she stops, nobody knows. That's what all these readings are trying to figure out, right? But anyways, so what happened back then? You can go back, even if this is every 18 to 19 year cycle, so you can go back and go back and go back. And it's not going to be exactly the same, but with the nodes, and especially with Saturn involved, it's these lessons that we're trying to learn. And you don't have to sign up. It's like if you want to go do that same thing again, it's almost like, being left back a grade. You should be to the next step. You should be to the next level. We should be keep progressing. Why stay in 8th grade forever? Do you want to keep reliving 8th grade over and over and over again? No, you want to move on to 10th grade and, whatever, college, and off you go. School of life. But anyways, let's look at this chart. So when the first one again was such a focus on Cancer part of the equation, these are opposites. The Cancer is the mother, the nurturer, the feminine. This is the masculine. This is the breadwinner. This is the one who gets the glory. This is the woman behind the man. This is the man. It is a male energy, and Saturn it is the ruler of Capricorn is in there too, and Pluto is in there too. Pluto is conjunct this thing. I mean, 24 degrees moon of Capricorn, 21 of Pluto, almost 22. These are actually, this whole thing's, you know, we got a stellium happening here. We got ourselves a stellium. I'm hearing that to the tune of Convoy, that old song from back in with the CB radios. I can't sing it. I have to watch singing on these videos too when I get music, because I got a little flag from one of my videos on YouTube of copyright infringement because I just sang a little snippet of it. And it was a private reading suit, and I don't think anybody, she didn't flag me. So they derived it just from my singing a little snippet of some song, so I have to watch that. And if you haven't seen my videos, that's something I do. That's the way my guides communicate with me. And I like to joke around, so this is the reading. You know, if you're not into it, you don't have to watch it. Okay, but back to this. So I'm hearing it till we got ourselves a convoy across the USA. Ooh, convoy. Well, that's an old tune. Well, let's look it up. I mean, that is such a rare. That is not a song that I ever liked, even when it was out in the first place. You know, that's not. I wasn't into CB radios. I wasn't. I didn't. Breaker 19. Here's a rubber duck. Woohoo! We got a copy on me, Pigpen. Come on. Ah, yeah. 10-4, Pigpen. For sure, by golly. It's clean, clear to the flag town. Come on, yeah. Let's get a big 10-4 there. Pigpen, yeah, we're definitely going to go in the front door, good buddy. Mercy sakes alive. Look, we've got ourselves a convoy. You know, I saw Mercy and I thought it said Mercury. And I was like, Mercury, so it's Mercy sakes alive. But I think that Mercury is, you know, we're going to look at that. It's retrograde and we'll look at it. Was the dark of the moon. Oh, wow. On the 6th of June. Well, look, see, there's some, it's crazy how there's stuff, these random weird songs, there's something in there. So this is it's not the dark of the moon, it's actually the full moon, but in a Kenilworth pulling logs, cabin over Pete's with a reefer on, and Jimmy hauling hogs. We is heading for a beach on a low I-10, about a mile out of Shaky Town. Shaky Town, earthquakes. I mean, I'm not joking around. I don't feel like I'm reaching. Maybe I'm reaching a little, but this is how the energy works. I says, Pigpen, this here's a rubber duck, and I'm about to pull the hammer down. If anybody knows what's, I know these are like terms. What's a rubber duck? You know, if anybody knows, I'm not going to look it all up, but because we got a little convoy rocking through the night. Yeah, we got a little convoy. Ain't she a beautiful sight? Come on, join our convoy. Ain't nothing gonna stand in our way, I believe. We're going to take this convoy across the USA, I think. I lost my place, and I'm not going to spend the whole reading looking up the lyrics to Convoy, but, yeah, Mercury is going to be retrograde. That thing about the moon, that's pretty intense. But anyways, it's in Capricorn. Let's get to the meat of this reading here. It's in the sign of Capricorn. And Capricorn is about industry, captains of industry, commerce, success, climbing that to the top of that mountain. You know, with the Capricorn energy, it's always, you know, a goat will eat a tin can. I always use that, you know, that analogy. You might have to eat some tin cans to get to the top of this mountain. We often forget, you know, too, but it's really, Capricorn is the sea goat. So it's half, I don't know if it's half fish, but it's got like a fish's tail and then the goat body. So there's an element of the sea and the water as well. You know, there could be some kind of, I'm hearing the word harken back, and that's definitely, again, not something I generally would say. So this may harken back to the new moon eclipse, or harken back to that 2000 and 2001 era. Pluto is an agent of change. Pluto is death and destruction. Pluto makes does shake things up in our lives. And Pluto's been in Capricorn, riding along with the node and Saturn here for a while, and there has been a lot of, uprising and anger at the status quo, and things that overturning of governments. I'm hearing that's pretty extreme, but people wanting that, people wanting change. Rebellion really against being lorded over, against putting it out there, not being afraid. With Mercury, how is Mercury related to all this? It's down here. It is part of it, but not being afraid to speak out, like the Me Too movement. Women were being sexually harassed since the beginning of recorded time. Just in this last time, women have really stood up for themselves and spoke out. And Moon is lunar; it's feminine. So there's a lot of things going on. It's a time to examine the masculine and the feminine. I would think. I feel like it's time to examine that and those traditional roles. And it's not a time to fight fire with fire, is what I'm hearing. Where, okay, men oppress women, so now we gotta be like a man and fight back and be angry and mean and, powerful in a masculine way. Women have power. Women have all the power, it's a different kind of power. It's from within, what I'm hearing is the hand that rocks the cradle. There's that, women are doing that, but women have the power to create. We create a different way. We create from within. We create within a womb. Mother Earth herself is a womb. It's not an outward expression. So since this is a full moon, there is this. It's a strange energy. It's hard to pin down. There's so much going on and so much it could happen. Pluto is very volatile. Pluto wants change, but you think about Pluto too. Pluto, it's the underworld, and you think about a Pluto ruling of a Scorpio. Yeah, Scorpios can be very overt. That's the Scorpion. If we've ever felt the Scorpion sting, yeah, Pluto energy, aka Scorpio energy, can be very overt, can be very, they'll sting you to death, But really, it's the most powerful. Well, it's the most powerful in its form of the eagle of flying high, but there's power in that underworld energy. There's power in that, and that's these earthquakes too. It's like something underneath it's under the world. It's within the earth. It's rumbling and it's moving and it's stirring, getting stirred up, and it makes things happen. Many times, back to some basic astrology, it'll eclipse something out of your life. That's the old catchphrase with the eclipses, especially the full moon lunar eclipse. But things that are being eclipsed out of our lives, they're going to be for the best. Because the nodes are involved and Saturn's involved too. The nodes and Saturn are both very karmic, very, things happen for a reason, for our highest good. Lessons we're trying to learn, things we're trying to overcome. I go into Saturn and the South Node, the nodes, a lot when I do those soul readings with your chart, looking at your past life, looking at the karmas that you're dealing with in this life. And that's why these eclipses are so powerful. They bring up not only our personal stuff, karma and whatever, but they bring up the group stuff for everybody, the collective, the collective 10th house, the collective Capricorn energy, the collective patriarchy, the collective powerful rulers, the 1% or 2% or whatever it is. This is all part of it. And there's karma there, and it's changing. Pluto leaves change in its wake. I was coming out as disaster in its wake, and it can be disaster. You know what was great about, if there's a silver lining about the California earthquakes, I don't think there were any deaths, so the death count was very low. So I thought that was really a beautiful thing. And even though it was felt all over, it happened out in the middle of a desert. I don't know if any of you saw, I saw that this morning that there was some, and I didn't go bother to check if it was real, but there was like a pentacle from Google coordinates or something. I don't know if anybody knows the truth about that, or let me know, put it in the comments. But it was definitely some powerful, it was an eruption. And that's the Pluto. That's like this underground, because Pluto is of Hades, of the underground. Oh, what am I hearing? I don't want to sing it. I was going to sing it. I'm hearing the song Slime from Frank Zappa. I am the slime of the underworld. Is that what it is? Real quick. I'm not going to read the whole thing. Slime. Frank Zappa lyrics. Is it he's the slime of the underworld? I'm the slime, yeah. I'm gross and perverted. I'm obsessed and deranged. Wow. I've existed for years, but little has changed. I'm a tool of the government and industry too. Wow, that is totally on point. For I am destined to rule and regulate you. If that's not, oh my God, am I getting chills all over my legs. If I'm not getting, if that's not the energy of the Capricorn, where the eclipse is happening, I don't know what is. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be disruptive here. I have a little issue going on here. Hold on a second. Yeah, I don't know what is. I may be vile and pernicious, but you can't look away. I'll make you think I'm delicious with the stuff I have to say. I'm the best you can get. Have you guessed me yet? For I am slime oozing out from your TV set. Yeah, well, that's true too. You obey me while I lead you and eat the garbage I feed you until the day that we don't need you. Don't go for help. No one will heed you. Your mind is totally controlled. It has been stuffed into a mold. And you will do as you're told until the rights to you are sold. Wow, is this so intense. I remember the song, but I never really looked into the lyrics. That's right, folks. Don't touch that dial. Well, I am the slime from your video. Wow, oozing along in your living room floor. I am the slime from your video. Can't stop the slime, people. Look at me go. I am the slime from your video, oozing. Okay. I swore it said I am the slime of the underworld. Wow. Well, either way, it led me to this song, and it's so poignant to this energy. This is the energy. And, how mass media, it's talking about mass media, how mass media influences us, and how, it does poison our mind. And put politics aside. Let's just put politics aside. I don't want to start any fights on that right now. But let's look at, I recently got basic TV back. I had a different setup for a while, but I wanted to watch, I like to watch Jeopardy and a few network shows. So I got the little package. It was real cheap. And these commercials are just sickening. Literally sickening. They are literally sickening everybody. Oh, blah, 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 blah. And what they're doing is they're using songs. I'm of a certain age. I'm in my 50s now, And they're using songs from our era, from the 60s and 70s, from our era and the baby boomers era, from when we were young. And it brings back this happy memories. And so then on a subconscious level, we're, oh yeah, music is such a manipulator. And Neptune is sextiling this, but I'm talking about the mass media and how the powers that be influence you, and big pharma, And these commercials are crazy. I don't know how many songs from our era, and it's luring you into, and then they say the side effects at the end may cause blah, 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 blah. My one friend says, yeah, may cause your face to fall off, blah, 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 blah. But we're being manipulated for sure. This power, they can't stay in power without manipulation. Capricorn, I think Capricorn's keywords are I use, if I'm not mistaken. I-U-S-E, I use you. Well, it's not always using other people. It's using, they utilize, they use things from different, you know, they use what's available to them about this media influencing us. And even if you don't watch TV, you know, so many people are cutting the cord and we don't watch TV. You know, it's in our social media feeds too. It seems to feed more into politics, you know, but if you watch regular TV, every single, there's multiple commercials in a row that say about how you're sick. And it's programming your mind how you're sick and how you need these drugs. Ask your doctor. I remember when these commercials just first started coming out. It's so normal now. I mean, I've been away from it for a while. That's why I'm a little shocked again by it. But it's so normal that these commercials have become. But I remember there was a comedian I can't remember who, but it was when this first started happening. It says, ask your doctor if this is right for you. And he says, yeah, then your doctor is your pusher, is the drug dealer. Basically, and that's true, and they get kickbacks and stuff too. That's a whole nother thing, but that's part of this, you know. And Moon is drugs. Neptune is stronger with the drugs, but Moon definitely is the drugs. And how it's infiltrated, and how in America we have a for-profit healthcare system, and people, you know, this whole thing with the EpiPens and everything, you know, and so. This is all coming out, you know. It's being questioned. It's coming out. Years ago, if it wasn't on the nightly news or whatever, we might not know that some guy bought the EpiPen and jacked the price up to whatever he did, you know, so people can't even afford it. So this corruption, you know, this Pluto is weeding that out, you know, getting in there and finding that corruption and finding that, and making a change for it. And its most positive expression might be having some empathy about it, you know. Not just, you know, coming at it with a Moon or a Cancerian, because Moon rules Cancer too. You know, that's why another reason that the Cancer energy is always present on these lunations, you know. Because it's its ruling, not planet, but it's its ruling, I can't think of the name of it, it doesn't matter. But let's, you know, have some empathy, let's have some, let's put some emotion into it. Let's not be so, it's for profit and we're going to make a buck and we want to have power and we want to usurp you and, you know, we'll climb right, a negative part of the goat would be we'll climb right over you to get to the top of them. We don't care who we're climbing over. And I'm a Capricorn sun, and that's not, don't get freaked out. It's not necessarily true, you know. There's many good qualities. But that's the negative side of it. That's that Pluto intensifying it. That's that eclipse intensifying it. Pluto intensifies things, and so do eclipses. So there's going to be more of this. There's going to be more stuff coming out like this. There's going to be more power people and corporations and different things, you know, coming down. It's there. It's happening. There's going to be disruption in the status quo. There's going to be change in the powers that be. The full moon, it's two things. The full moon or lunar eclipse, which is a full moon, first it illuminates. So it will illuminate. It will shine a light on some of this stuff. Then it goes into its waning stage, and it's a release. It's a letting go. It's getting rid of it. So, and this is not only in world events. This is in our own personal life. You know, we see it, we realize it, we release it. If we don't see it, if we miss that part, sometimes it's going to be released for us, and that's very often the case. Let me get a drink of water here. This second one there is a grand trine in fire with some asteroids. We've got Vesta, excuse me, not Vesta. Wasn't there a grand trine in fire? I guess not. I don't know where I got that. Oh yeah, there is. There's a grand trine in fire with Chiron, Ceres. I was looking at Jupiter. Chiron, Ceres, and down here, the Sun to some extent, but that Mercury retrograde. And Mars. Yeah, Mercury retrograde and Mars and Leo, this is a recipe for people going off. People saying things in anger that you didn't mean to say. Misspeaking, letting things over Leo, over pride, letting pride, letting your ego get the best of you, letting your ego wanting to be the best, wanting to compete, wanting to be right. Mercury's retrograding, misspeaking, saying things you wish you hadn't said. It's also, though, Mercury retrograde is the past. It can be going over the past. The full moon lunar eclipse conjuncting the south node also is the past too. So there's some stuff about the past and healing with Chiron. I mean, Chiron's gone retrograde too. There's a lot of retrogrades going on. We've got Neptune retrograde, Chiron retrograde. Well, the nodes are always retrograde. Mercury retrograde, Ceres retrograde, Jupiter retrograde, Saturn retrograde, Pluto retrograde. So there's a lot of this retrograde. There's a lot of it. The positive way is going and reviewing, especially with Mercury. Review. Revise that, edit that book, that script. Go over, reread that email. Go back and read that email. I'm feeling for some of you that that's a direct message. So go back and read that email. There might be something you missed. And there's a lot of different ways of that expressing. There might be something you missed, like a fine detail in some kind of whatever, like something you have to, like rules and regulations I'm getting, like the rules to a contest, say. Make sure you read that's fine print. But also, I feel like there's a misunderstanding or something's misconstrued. Like often, we read so much anymore. We read the email, blah, 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 and we just go, barrel through them. I do that a lot. I'll do that a lot too, and then I'll like say if you ordered a reading and your questions are in the email, and I'll be like, oh, I thought she asked me something completely different. I'll go back and read it, slow down and reread it. It's like, oh, I misunderstood the question, or oh, I misunderstood, and I feel like it, or reread the comment even, if you're getting in, or Twitter, the tweet. Because I think like we can just go so, we miss it. We miss the point. We see it from our narrow point of view, or we're coming at it from a point of anger, and we see it from this angry, oh, really? You're ready, you're all pissed off, ready to fire back, fire, literally. And it's, it can mess you up. You can misread it. You can misread it, like, oh, I thought it said this, but you could also misread it on an internal level. With the moon, you could like, oh, that really came off like blah blah blah. I thought she meant this, and really it was this, So be aware, be careful of that. The good thing that's happening, that there is a silver lining, and there's a bright spot in this, is the Venus. The Venus is conjunct the North Node. So the North Node is always again where we're going, and the Sun's in there too. So Venus there wants to make it, change is going to come, but Venus there wants to help make it a smooth transition. Venus trine Neptune, this, if you're open to it, if you're not stuck down here in the Mercury-Mars energy and retrograde stuff, and you wanna make it flow, and you have a deeper understanding, and you want to get downloads, and you want to get knowledge, this is the time to do it. If you want to turn your pain into beauty, this is the time to do it. If you want to find some high road, some silver lining here, it's available. That energy is available. The self-healing that we talked about so much in the first, the new moon thing, that energy is available. It is here. It's strong. Connecting with your higher forces and your spirits and your angels and your guides and everything, calling on them to help. It's there, this higher connection to this Neptunian energy, this world beyond our world. It's there. It can be found through the water. Even though the full moon is in Capricorn, it's still very watery energy. The Neptune is strong, the Venus in Cancer is strong, the Sun is in Cancer. It's moon, that's the water, that's the the lunar tides, the cycles and everything. That's the water, that's the feminine. That's where the power lies. The power doesn't lie in getting into arguments on the internet, and Twitter and that stuff, or Facebook or whatever. It doesn't lie in trying to step over people or take more for yourself, or they're telling me if that kind of power will be short-lived. This is the power in the eternal. This is the power of your soul's journey. You know, this is the power. This is a much deeper power. And it's a power of joining together in a non-verbal way. We don't have to be on the internet bitching at each other or whatever. This is joining, you know. This would be a great time to organize one of those big, you know, a moment of silence or at a certain time, or go to the beach and, you know, do some kind of thing. I did some new moon rituals with the, I posted those. I did that same one where I did the toilet paper, a little piece of toilet, and I wrote down my intentions. And I did a beach mosaic then while I was there too. It was like right at the time of the eclipse. I was out there doing it. But this would be a good time to do some releasing. But there feels, because the Neptune is the collective unconscious, it feels like there's this joining. There can be this joining, this uniting of souls. You know, dreams are. I'm already. For the last couple of weeks, I've been having some crazy ass dreams. A lot of visitation, a lot of dead people showing up in my dreams and hanging out with them. I mean, I get that pretty periodically anyway. But Pluto, the underworld, the dead, 12th house, you know, spirits and such. So that's all there. It's all powerful. We don't have to join into the mass hypnosis like Zappa was talking about. You know, we don't have to join into that. We don't have to. Neptune is television and film though too. You know, while we're on the topic of the Neptune though, you know, these movies anymore. That was my problem with Game of Thrones last season. It was just like, it was this great storytelling. It was so, I think that's why people liked Game of Thrones. It actually had a story, and it was verbal, and, you know, and then it just turned into this, like, I want to go to the movies, and it's it doesn't matter what movie you go to see, it's going to be the same damn thing. Practically no plot, then this huge special effects fighting or car wrecks, you know, some kind of, and that's what passes for entertainment, and that's what passes for stories, and there's no story, you know. It's not, I guess it's magical, but it's just special effects, and it's so much, destruction. It's so much next level. And I mean, that's cool. A lot of people like action movies, but it just seems like there's just nothing else. And even Game of Thrones, which was a fantasy, you know, and drama, turns into this big spectacle. You know, why does everything have to be a big spectacle? That's Leo energy too. Why do we always want to make a spectacle of ourselves or others? And by the way, this was just on my social media feed. That's a good reminder too. Why do we always have to, you know, this calling out and of what you don't want, you know? Because it's shaming, you know. There's always this shaming, pointing that finger, shaming, getting angry, putting up, boosting out, sharing, acknowledging, putting energy into what we don't want. It's crazy. And literally, I mean, when everybody says, oh, that's so cray-cray, I'm not talking about it's so cray-cray. I mean, it's literally unsound actions and behavior, because you're just emulating what you don't want. I can't remember who said this. I put it as a comment on that one feed, too, and it's just like, you know, I heard this somewhere years ago, and it stuck with me. Worrying is like praying for something you don't want to happen. Well, you know what? Anger is, too. Anger is like, it's putting energy into stuff that you don't want to happen. You know, posting all this stuff on social media. Look at this, look at this, look at this. Giving that energy to stuff that you don't want. What's the point of it? Mother Teresa, there's that famous quote from Mother Teresa. It was, you know, she'll never do a march against war, but she'll march all day for peace and love, you know. Turn it around to what you do want. You know, take action towards what you do want. Don't be so in the ego, me, mine, I. Be in the group consciousness, in the collective unconsciousness, in the join together, just like they're showing me the trees, you know, how the trees are all part of this big network and their roots are all, you know, that's what we are. That's what we have, those flows of energy between us, you know, those lines and flows of energy between us, and those are also amplified at this time. So that would be my advice, go that way. Try to amidst all the chaos and whatnot to, I just happened to, I was looking down here, this is the aspectarian, if you're not familiar, it just shows all the aspects, although the asteroids aren't in it. But I was looking down here to see if anything, aspects that I might have missed, and Jupiter is conjunct the ascendant. Now I do the flat wheel, this is we're getting a little astrology based here, which is 0 Aries all the way around, just to make it easier to understand and more for the general public. But if in the actual chart, Jupiter's conjunct the ascendant, so it's a Sagittarius ascendant, but Jupiter always will make things bigger, amplify it too. And so Jupiter being on the ascendant in the actual chart is pretty, it's not for the faint of heart, I'm hearing. And then I'm hearing go big or go home. And that's not my message at all, but that's the message that's that message. That's that message of these big movies, of this, look at me, I'm right, I'm great, look at me, I'm going to take 1,000 selfies, Neptune, and post it, my hourly selfie, here it comes, It's like, I know what you look like, all right? You don't have to keep posting the selfies. It's my little... Nothing to do with this really, but let's see what else. Anything else I missed? Sextiling. This is sextiling Neptune. This eclipse and everything. The sextile is like the way out. The trine, the sextile. It's Venus. They want. There's an avenue. There's a path. There's an avenue to make this more harmonious and not so. That's an eclipse. All hell's going to break loose. Buckle up, buttercup. Just anticipating and feeding into the energy that something bad's going to happen, or that it has to be done. We're going to fight for what we don't. We're going to fight against what we don't want. That is completely futile, And I get there. We're human. We get pissed. We're raised in a society where that's a thing. That's definitely a thing. But these eclipses on a higher level, these are the energies we're working with to try to change. We're trying to change that. We're trying to evolve. It doesn't have to be through war and punishment and pushing and screaming and yelling and fighting. It can be, there's an element. There's a place for. There's another way. Even if it's just to save your own damn sanity while all hell's breaking loose all around you, go in that inner place, The prayer for peace, that's what I'm hearing. Let's everybody do a prayer for peace on or around this time. Prayer for peace. July 16th, 5:38 p.m. Eastern. I don't know if that just came through the universe, or maybe that's already a thing, but let's make it a thing if it's not. Prayer for peace, at least for us people watching right now. Maybe I'll even make a little thing, post it. Prayer for peace. I should write that down. The way things go around here half the time, if I don't write it down, I'll forget about it. Prayer for peace on the eclipse. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to see if there's already happening, and if it isn't, I'm going to do a little, I can make up a little graphic and post it. And let's all do that. Let's do a prayer for peace. That sounds like a plan. That sounds like a good place to leave the reading, too, because I think it's really long. I'm going to have to put it together because of the break. Sorry about all that. Sorry I had to break it together. I'm sure it will be seamless for you. It just makes a ton of work for me. Now I'm going to have to go edit this video, which I try to avoid at all costs. But anyways, yeah, so it's an intense eclipse. No doubt about it. There's no sugarcoating this. This is a major intensity. I hope there's not more seismic activity. All you West Coast people, take care, be careful. Put that light around. Let's put that in our prayer too for people. If Mother Earth is shaken up, let's do some praying for that. Yeah, so this is the eclipse. I am still offering the eclipse readings, and as I said, these things last like 6 months. So I'll be offering it till the end of July, and because even though the first one passed and this one's, it's still affecting you. And again, you rarely feel the effects right on the day. It's usually not that way. And so if you're interested, you can order it. And I do also have those past life chart readings. I have all sorts of readings. So if you're interested, please do check it out. You can find my website above in the eye in the sky, or the info below. If you like my videos, please hit subscribe. All your comments, liking, sharing, and everything does help and keep things flowing on this channel and keep things flowing with me. I appreciate all your support oh so much. Yeah, prayer for peace, July 16th, 5:38 p.m. Eastern. Let's do it. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Remember your love and beauty incarnate. Bye.